NFL game. Can he win one on Sunday to potentially save his job?
You are Locked On Cardinals, your daily Arizona Cardinals podcast. Part of the Locked On Podcast Network, your team every day.
Welcome into a tardy edition of Locked On Cardinals on Friday. Had some technical issues. Alex Clancy, Locked On Cardinals. Follow me on Twitter at Clancy's Corner. Follow the podcast at Locked On AZ Cards. Thank you to everyone who makes Locked On Cardinals your first listen each and every day, free and available on all platforms. Arizona Cardinals have a pivotal matchup on Sunday at home against the Seattle Seahawks at State Farm Stadium. They played this team not a month ago, Cardinals losing 19-9 and only scoring 3 points on offense and none after the 10 minutes and 40-second mark of the first quarter. What do the Cardinals need to do to win on Sunday? What will the score be? Who will the players of the game be? I'm going to break it all down. But first, as I normally do here, and first, today's episode of Locked On Cardinals is brought to you by BetOnline. BetOnline has you covered this season with more props, odds, and lines than ever before. BetOnline, where the game starts. One of the things that I say, that I've said, that I'll continue to say until it changes is, Kliff Kingsbury's never won an important NFL game. Now, you could say every NFL game is important. You dummy? Sure. Understood. And I don't agree. When it comes to Kliff Kingsbury, when it comes to the question marks surrounding him as head coach of the Arizona Cardinals, there's one thing that looms over everything else. The penalties, the bad timeouts, potentially keeping Kyler Murray from maturing as an elite quarterback more than he already has. Above all of that, there's one thing that looms. He can't win when it counts. He has a terrible second half of the season record. I'm not going to break it down. You can find the screenshot. It's everywhere. I think that's kind of beating a dead horse because people know. I mean, it's a fact. It's not an opinion. It's a fact. Say what you want about Kliff Kingsbury. If you think he's not getting enough credit for what he's done, look at the record. Can't fake numbers. I mean, you can, but you get expelled from school for that. Can't fake numbers when it comes to win-loss record for this long. 2020, started 5-3, started 6-3, I think, with the Hail Murray, jettisoned, went 2-5. Last year, 7-0, 10-2, finished 11-6, didn't clinch the division on their own. We know all of this, okay? I'm not going to rehash. But what I've said, and I will continue to say, is that Kliff Kingsbury's never won an important NFL game because he hasn't. Sean McVay had to clinch the division had to clinch a playoff spot for the Cardinals last year. They couldn't do it on their own. They would have, but they didn't do it with a handful of game lead with only a handful of games to play last year. So my question is, can Kliff Kingsbury win an important NFL game for the first time when his job's potentially on the line? Can he coach like his employment depends on it? Because it may. Because every loss that stacks up with the Cardinals, that scale is going to tip away from Kliff Kingsbury's favor. I'm not sure what to do with my hands. It'll tip away from Kliff Kingsbury's favor in even having to act out his contract extension because he could be gone before that. That's the question. Can Kliff Kingsbury put together a game plan at home? Cardinals are on a roll. They won their last home game. Can Kliff Kingsbury put together a game plan where the Cardinals can score more points than the Seattle Seahawks on Sunday? And that starts with them potentially scoring a touchdown in the first quarter. Heaven forbid. Heaven forbid. This comes, and I want to see Kliff succeed. Like, this is not a bash Kliff Kingsbury podcast. At times it is, because, but there are other times where it's like, I'm rooting for this guy. This is never a personal attack on Kliff Kingsbury. This is the avatar of the head coach of the Arizona Cardinals. And the avatar of the head coach of the Arizona Cardinals isn't doing Kyler Murray justice. He isn't doing the organization justice. He isn't doing Carbs justice, if we're going to be completely honest. Can Kliff Kingsbury together a game plan from the first scripted play through the last play of the game to save his job? We'll see. If I were a betting man, which I'm not, I'm going to say no comment. I'm going to give him one last chance. I'm going to give him one last chance because the more that I watch other teams with other young quarterbacks and other game plans and other game schemes, like I watched Philadelphia last night. It's like, that's one of the best offense. Like, that offense is in 2022. Kliff Kingsbury's offense is in 2009 at Texas Tech. Whenever the hell it doesn't even matter. He's probably still in the NFL then. There's no imagination. What this offense does, and I want you to think about this when you're watching the game on Sunday, because I really tried to craft exactly how I wanted to say this. And I said it a little bit right after the Cardinals lost last week, but it's like this offense is set as such to where you get a little treat every time the Cardinals get into the opposing team's territory. It's like, oh, you get inside the 40-yard line? Here's an end around. Here's a treat. You deserve that because the Cardinals are going to score points. Oh, we're inside the 10? Here's a fade. You deserve that. You got inside the 10. You're going to score a touchdown anyways. It's like they are expecting points to happen. You know how hard it is to score in the NFL? Nothing is a given. Nothing is guaranteed. And it's like once they get inside the 40, inside the 30, it's like, oh, you know what? We can waste a play here. We deserve it. We got this far. And it's a joke. Can Kliff Kingsbury win an important game in the NFL for the first time to potentially save his job on Sunday? We'll see. Locked On Cardinals, your team every day. There's a lot of injuries. What is Kyler Murray specifically going to have to do to combat Rodney Hudson being out for yet another game? I'm going to tackle that as well as some other just key storylines going into Sunday, because I said there wasn't a huge difference, especially in the NFC this year and the NFC West between 3-5 and 4-4. There is a massive difference between 4-5 and 3-6. The Cardinals don't win on Sunday, as I like to say, or don't like to say, but have said a lot as of late. There are going to be some very uncomfortable conversations that will be had come Monday. I don't want to have them, but I will, because that's what I do. I'm a content creator, baby. Locked On Cardinals, your team every day. Next. First, here's the thing. This episode is brought to you by Prediction Strike, the world's first sports stock market. This thing is awesome. It's just revolutionary thinking. You can now invest in professional athletes just like stocks. It's a lower risk alternative to sports betting, and athlete prices move based on performance and supply and demand. So say, for example, if you invested in Jalen Hurts 1 year ago, you'd be up 48.2%. Rashad Penny, a couple weeks ago before he got hurt, up 154%. It's just like stocks. It's insane. 2.5% trade fees, lowest in real money sports. You can invest in 4 sports, not just NFL, but UFC, NBA, and Major League Baseball. You gotta, we're wrapping up here. The World Series is about to come to a wrap. Everyone knows you should be investing, but why not invest in what you actually know as a football fanatic? Download the Prediction Strike app. Download the Prediction Strike app and use code LOCKED for a free share when you sign up and make a first deposit of $20 or more. That's promo code LOCKED for a special one-time giveaway. Prediction Strike will choose one person who signs up with code LOCKED and who makes a deposit to win 100 free random shares. That could be worth up to $3,000 if you get lucky and receive Josh Allen shares. Invest in what you know on Prediction Strike, the stock market for sports. And also, I love Built Bar. And I've talked about Built Bar for a long time on this show. The love is real. Like, yes, we're given copy to read for what's known as a live read in the biz, but I've always got Built Bar on top of my fridge. I do now, okay? Cookie dough topper, coconut brownie bar, coconut brownie topper, okay? White chocolate peppermint granola. It's Built's take on the granola bar, so it's more filling and still insanely tasty. And candy cane brownie, it's a puff too, so it's protein-infused marshmallow. It's like you're biting the universe's most delicious cloud. First off, anybody that hasn't tried Built before, they're literally the best tasting protein bars ever. Like, so I met with a rep from Built Bar, I believe it was last year, and they say, dude, the best tasting protein bar or the healthiest candy bar on the planet, because they're true. Like, there were blind taste tests done with Built Bar and candy bars, and Built Bars were winning. It's like, I'm not making this up. This is true. And I've been eating them for 2 years now or 3 years now. It's incredible. They're revolutionizing nutrition as we know it with 100% real chocolate, 17 grams of protein, and shockingly low sugar and calories. 130 calories. Okay, so it's not just for like, oh, breakfast or, oh, after workout. I have these for dessert sometimes because they're so good and they're not terrible for you. So you don't have to like chow down a pint of, cookies and cream or whatever. Eat a Built Bar. Go to Built.com. Okay, you got to try this. Get 15% off your order right now by using code LOCKEDON15 at Built.com. Flavors abound. Just go. Get 15% off your order right now using the code LOCKEDON15 at Built.com. This is a pretty pivotal matchup here. Pretty pivotal matchup. Locked On Cardinals, your team every day. Alex Clancy here. Thanks for making Locked On Cardinals your first listen. Thanks for hanging out. I'll be live at halftime, per usual. I'll be live post-game, per usual. And again, thank you for making Locked On Cardinals your first listen. Make your second listen today. Check out Locked On Sports today. From the games that matter the most to the biggest stories in sports, go beyond the scoreboard and behind the scenes with local experts and insights only Locked On can provide. Locked On Sports today, available on this app, YouTube, and wherever you get your podcasts. Can Kliff Kingsbury win the first important game as an NFL head coach? And this one may be to save his job. We'll see. What do the Cardinals need to do to get there? Rodney Hudson, out. Budda Baker, limited. James Conner, limited. DJ Humphries, limited. Like, the injuries are piling up, okay? But this is the time of year where people don't care. Like, people care, but people don't really care. And it's quarterback like Kyler Murray. And you have a guy who has the ability to maneuver around outside the pocket, inside the pocket, use his legs. I used to like to say Kyler Murray, the best offensive lineman the Arizona Cardinals have had since they drafted Kyler Murray was Kyler Murray's legs. And I still believe that. So the offensive line last week in the second half showed promise. Okay. Cody Ford. Let's see. Josh Jones, left tackle. Kevin Beachum, right tackle. Let's see. Will Hernandez. Let's see. Let's see if they can make shift one game to keep this Arizona Cardinals playoffs hopes alive. So what do the Cardinals need to do? This is something that I've not really understood. I know kind of third down go routes is just a thing. It's just a thing. It's been a thing. Doesn't matter if it's Rondo, Moore, AJ Green, whoever. Outside, go route, 3rd and 3, 3rd and 5. Yet. Get a first down. Get a first down a couple times, then run play action on 3rd down and see how wide open that go route is. I don't know much, but I know that. And also, offensively, take chances on 1st down, not on 3rd. If you're going to run the ball up the gut on 1st down every single down, maybe run play action once in a while on 1st down and take a shot. I'm all for extending this defense. I'm all for utilizing all the talent the Cardinals have, especially speed-wise now with Rondale Moore and Robbie Anderson. When Hollywood Brown comes back, even more so. I'm all for pushing the ball down the field for chunk gains or to get, pass interference calls. All for. Do it on 1st down. Give yourself a chance. On 3rd and 3, there's no reason why they should be throwing the ball 30 yards down the field every time, it seems. 70%, 60% of the time, it's too much. Zach Ertz, run 4 yards, turn around, catch the ball, you're 6'4". Move the ball down the field. Eat up clock. Give your defense a rest. And I've been talking about this since 2019. It's the same thing. They do it sometimes, and they score touchdowns. They don't do it other times, and they 3 and out in 45 seconds. This is why this offense is so frustrating. It's like this offense is like the student who refuses to study. And that's a bad example because of the bull crap that the study clause, but I don't mean it like that. I don't mean it's double. I don't mean it like that. Like the kid that is so smart, but refuses to do their homework, is so smart, but refuses to go to, office hours to talk to the professor, things like that. That's what this offense, but they're so wildly smart that it's like, if you just did a couple little things differently, maybe a top 5 offense. You'd be, a 3.8 student instead of a 2.9 student. And again, this is not talking about that. That was just total coincidence about the study clause. That's not, because I think the study clause was one of the dumbest things ever put pen to paper in the history of football. They just need to, the Cardinals need to not beat themselves. And when things are going well, you can kind of mask if you're beating yourself. It's what happened didn't happen throughout the first 7 or 8 games of last year, but week 1, Tennessee Titans. Chandler Jones strip sack. The Cardinals get the ball inside the 40. They get it inside the 10. False start, timeout, field goal. Same stuff. They put up a 40 burger, but same stuff. It was happening then when they were winning, and it's more pronounced when they're losing. When we're constantly talking about timeout usage at the NFL level, what the hell are we doing here? So when things are going well, this offense, where the hell has that been? Yes, sure, DeAndre Hopkins has only been back 2 weeks. Sure, you want to give that excuse? Absolutely. Or that reason? Absolutely. I'll take it. No sarcasm. I'll take it, and it's warranted. They've had 4 good drives since DeAndre Hopkins has been back, and they've all resulted in touchdowns. It's when it works, it's magic. Things are humming. Things are moving. Yes, having a little bit more time in the pocket. Kyler Murray dipsy-doodling around behind the line of scrimmage, where he eats. That's where he lives. And I think that Kliff Kingsbury is trying to bracket him into something that he's not. And Kyler Murray is 100% at fault for 2 of the worst throws he's ever thrown in the NFL, which was a huge catalyst for the Cardinals losing last week. So Kyler Murray's definitely not without fault here. But doing the little things right makes doing the hard things easier. And doing the easy things wrong makes the hard things nearly impossible to execute. And that's why we're kind of in flux between the two. And it's super frustrating. So, to end this segment, what do the Cardinals need to do to win on Sunday? Score early and don't shoot yourself in the foot constantly. Because that's what happened in Minnesota last week, and that's why the Cardinals lost. Turnovers, bad usage of timeouts, penalties, throwaway plays, first down, halfback dive. It's like Mike McCoy still the OC here. First down, halfback dive. Third down, throw it down the field. If I know it's coming, what do you think the professional athletes on the other side wearing the opposing jerseys think? It's their job to watch film. Locked On Cardinals, your team every day. Score predictions. I'm going to wrap up this segment because we could talk about, this matchup and this. We know who both of these teams are. We know that the secondary for the Seattle Seahawks have been excellent. The young guys have been excellent. They don't miss Jamal Adams right now. We know that Kenneth Walker is emerging. We know Geno Smith, as of right now, is an MVP candidate. Top 3, top 4, top 5, he has to be. We know those things. We know DK Metcalf. We know Tyler Lockett. We know who the Cardinals have. It hasn't been about talent versus talent for the Cardinals. That's not why they've lost games. They've lost games because of this. And that's why I focus on that. I'll give my players of the game. I'll give my predictions. Next, Locked On Cardinals, your team every day. One thing that's helped me through my journey, just in general, looking for jobs, etc., has been LinkedIn. Okay. But say you own a company and you need employees and you're having a hard time, like, you've got an employee and they're like, oh yeah, my buddy or my friend would be great for this. You bring them in, they're terrible. Happens all the time. With LinkedIn Jobs, it'll make the whole process easier. LinkedIn Jobs helps you find the right people for your team faster and for free. You make a post, add your job in the purple hashtag hiring frame to your LinkedIn profile to spread the word that you're hiring. Simple tools like screening questions make it easy to focus on candidates with just the right skills and experience so you can quickly prioritize who you'd like to interview and hire. It's why small businesses rate LinkedIn Jobs #1 in delivering quality hires versus leading competitors. LinkedIn Jobs helps you find the qualified candidates you want to talk to faster. Post your job for free at linkedin.com/lockedonnfl. That's linkedin.com/lockedonnfl to post your job for free. Terms and conditions apply. And also, mysolarnerd.com. If you want solar, if you're looking for solar, live in Arizona, there's people that are stopping by to offer you free solar. Truth is, many of these companies live out of state. They're using misleading tactics. You don't want any of that. My Solar Nerd's mission is simple. Help you get the best solar system to fit your needs. The guys at mysolarnerd.com are local and understand the nuances of going solar in Arizona. They've been doing this for a while and understand that an educated customer is a happy one. They have a no pressure approach. You get all your questions answered. Once you're ready, they'll put that industry knowledge to work for you by choosing the best equipment, warranties, and Better Business Bureau accredited installers. Our listeners will get a $50 Amazon gift card when they book a no commitment evaluation. The promotion is only for listeners that are homeowners. Keep that in mind. Visit mysolarnerd.com and select Locked On in the How'd You Hear About Us section. Make the switch to solar on your terms. Start your research process by visiting mysolarnerd.com today and show Locked On some love by letting them know we sent you. Folks, going solar doesn't need to be complicated. mysolarnerd.com makes it easy. Will the Cardinals win? Will Kliff Kingsbury win his first important game as an NFL head coach to potentially save his job? These are real conversations we need to have now. Alex Clancy, Locked On Cardinals. Thanks for making Locked On Cardinals your first listen each and every day, free and available on all platforms. These are conversations that need to be had. Injuries, rampant. Rodney Hudson out. DJ Humphries questionable. James Conner questionable. Budda Baker limited. We know. But let's all look at this like everybody's injured. Most teams have injuries. Okay? Got to get lucky for sure. But most teams have injuries. The Cardinals have their quarterback, their tight end, their right tackle. Josh Jones has stepped in and has done a nice job playing left tackle. DeAndre Hopkins. They've got Byron Murphy, Marco Wilson, Zaven Collins, J.J. Watt, Zach Allen, Jalen Thompson. Their guys are the majority of the guys are healthy. Rodney Hudson is a big loss. And, we can rank these. I don't want to do that. Kliff Kingsbury needs to put together a game plan for Sunday that starts with scoring early and ends with no bad timeouts, no shooting yourself in the foot, and a scheme that keeps the opposing defense guessing. Kyler Murray needs to not throw inadvertent throws. Not inadvertent. What the hell am I talking about? Ill-advised throws. Those 2 interceptions killed him last week. And the defense needs to play a little bit better. And I've been a huge, truther of the defense. The defense wasn't given as much as the offense was this offseason. So they've got more of an excuse to not perform at a top level because they weren't given the talent to do so. I don't know why that's not a rational thought that everybody has, but some don't, and that's fine. But Kyler Murray needs to emerge here. This is a game at home where you can really make a statement in division. They need to start winning division games. They've got 3 division games in a row. At home against Seattle Sunday, at SoFi Stadium to play the Rams on the next week, and then Monday night, technically a home game, but in Mexico City against the 49ers, who look like absolute world beaters right now. So much can happen between Sunday and 2 weeks from Sunday when the Cardinals play San Francisco in Mexico City. This could be a rebirth season, or the season could be lost. We don't know. Could be somewhere in the middle, but it looks like right now 3-5. If they win on Sunday and they can beat the Rams look old. They look old. They don't look good. So if you told me they went to SoFi and beat the Rams, I wouldn't be surprised. Rodney Hudson would have to come back for that game for sure. Maybe the Cardinals should have drafted an offensive lineman in the first 2 rounds of any draft since 2016, since 2015, but I digress. I don't have that much time for this podcast. Keys to victory for the Cardinals. No turnovers. Don't shoot yourself in the foot. Maybe take some shots on first down instead of third down. If you don't do the easy things well, doing the difficult things are almost impossible. And it's paramount. It's week 9, baby. I said before the season started, I said right when last season ended, the Band-Aid will be ripped off this season. Is Kliff Kingsbury a good head coach? Is Kyler Murray an elite quarterback? Does Steve Keim know what the hell he's doing? Is this roster good enough to make a push? Was the first 12 weeks of last year a fluke? We are now not just seeing the forest through the trees. We're walking up to the forest from a bird's eye view, seeing the forest. November 9th, I think. Hard Knocks in season, first episode. We're going to find out very quickly who these Arizona Cardinals are, and it's going to be uncomfortable if they continue to lose the way that they have, because the problem is they should have won last Sunday. They didn't lose by 30 and they were outmatched. It's never been about talent. It's right here, and that's the frustrating part. That's the frustrating part. Do the Cardinals win on Sunday? Yes. Is Kyler Murray going to show that he was a MVP candidate about a year ago? Yes. Is DeAndre Hopkins going to still emerge as, in my opinion, the best wide receiver in the NFL still? I think he's the best wide receiver in the NFL still. You can be fast. You can be flashy. You can have, 75-yard catch and runs because you're faster than everybody else. That's great. That's not going to last. Speed doesn't last. If you rely on speed, you're not going to have as long of a career as somebody who never relied on speed like DeAndre Hopkins. He just gets open. And when he's not open, he's always open. And when he can't catch the ball, he always catches the ball. It doesn't matter. DeAndre Hopkins, wide receiver 1, in my opinion. The Cardinals win 24-17, 24-20. It's going to be lower scoring. It was my mistake. I thought it was going to be an absolute just mash house at Lumen Field after there were, I think, 73 points scored or 71 points scored between Seattle and New Orleans the week before the Cardinals played them. Cardinals scored 3 points on offense against Seattle. I think they're going to flip it. I think they're going to get a dub. They're going to move to 4-5, and there's going to be a massive game next week on the road at SoFi Stadium. Take these things with you. Watch these things on Sunday. First down runs up the middle. Third down go routes. Timeouts at ill-advised times. If we don't see those things, the Cardinals will win handily. I don't care what Seattle's done. If you can't do the easy things well, doing the hard things are nearly impossible. Alex Nancy, Locked On Cardinals. I will talk to you halftime of the game on Sunday on Twitter Spaces and right here on YouTube. If you're not subscribing, please subscribe, turn the notifications on.